The sky was still dark when the bell rang. It was not a loud bell, but in the quiet of early morning, its sound traveled far. It moved across the sleeping cabins like a cold wind, slipping into dreams and pulling people awake. 9-year-old Amara opened her eyes and did not know why her heart was already beating fast. The world outside the small window was a soft blue-gray, the kind of color that comes before the sun. Birds had not yet begun their songs. Her mother, Naya, was sitting on the edge of the bed. She had not slept. Naya's hands rested in her lap, folded together as if she were holding something fragile that could break if she moved. Her eyes were open, but she was looking at nothing. "Is it time to work?" Amara whispered. Naya turned and smiled, but the smile was thin and tired. She brushed Amara's curls back from her face with gentle fingers. "Not work, my little moon," she said softly, "just a walk." Amara sat up slowly. The floor was cold under her feet. She pulled her thin dress around her shoulders, trying to hold the warmth close. Outside, footsteps moved, quiet voices murmured. The morning was holding its breath. They stepped out of the cabin together. The air smelled of damp earth and smoke from last night's fires. A small group of people stood near the open space by the road. Some held hands, some stared at the ground, some looked up at the sky as if the clouds might give answers. Amara's fingers found her mother's hand. Naya squeezed them gently, once, twice, 3 times, their secret way of saying, "I am here." As they walked, Amara noticed how the world looked different in the early light. Shadows were long and soft. The trees seemed taller. The road seemed to stretch farther than usual, as if it were trying to lead them somewhere unknown. They reached the open space where a wagon stood, wooden wheels, a man with a paper in his hand, voices she did not recognize. Amara felt a strange feeling in her chest, like a small bird fluttering its wings against her ribs. Naya knelt in front of her. "Listen to me, little moon," she whispered. Her voice was calm, but her eyes shone with tears that did not fall. "No matter what happens today, you belong to me. Do you hear me?" Amara nodded. Naya pressed her forehead gently to Amara's. "Close your eyes for a moment." Amara closed them. "Do you remember the song I used to sing when you were a baby?" Naya asked. "The one about the river?" Amara whispered. "Yes," Naya said. "The river that carries dreams safely to the sea." She hummed the melody, so softly that only Amara could hear it. The tune moved like water, slow and steady, wrapping around Amara's heart. Amara opened her eyes. A hand reached out and pulled her gently away. Her fingers slipped from her mother's. The world tilted. Amara tried to turn back, but the crowd shifted. The air filled with voices. The morning grew brighter, and the sun rose like it did every day, unaware of the small breaking inside a child's chest. From the wagon, Amara looked down. Her mother stood in the distance, her figure small among the others. Naya lifted her hand and placed it over her heart. Amara pressed her own hand there too. The wagon moved. The road carried her away. Years passed. The world changed shape around Amara. She grew taller. Her hands grew stronger. Her hair grew longer and was tied back with a simple cloth. But inside her, the small bird still fluttered sometimes, especially in the quiet hours before sleep. At night, when the work was done and the world finally softened, Amara lay on her thin blanket and stared at the ceiling. The moonlight traced pale lines across the wooden boards above her.
She hummed. She hummed the river song her mother had given her. It was not loud, it was barely more than breath, but it kept something alive inside her. The sound of it made her feel less alone in the dark. Sometimes others nearby would shift in their sleep when they heard the tune. One woman once whispered, "That song, my mother used to sing something like that." Amara did not answer. She closed her eyes and let the song carry her where the road had once taken her. In her dreams, she walked beside a river with clear water. The river did not hurry. It knew where it was going.
Time moved slowly, like a long road with no signs. Then one morning, the air felt different. There were whispers of change. Words passed quietly from one person to another. The world outside the cabins buzzed with a strange energy, like the moment before rain. And then, one day, the chains fell away. Freedom did not arrive with music or bright colors. It came like a soft wind, almost shy, touching everything carefully. People stood in the open spaces, unsure what to do with their hands. Some cried, some laughed quietly, some simply closed their eyes and breathed. That night, Amara lay awake under a sky that felt wider than it ever had before. She hummed the river song. This time, the sound did not have to hide. From somewhere nearby, another voice joined in. It was thin and shaky at first, like a voice that had not been used for singing in a long time. The melody was the same, the rhythm was the same. Amara sat up. Her heart beat fast, not with fear this time, but with something bright and aching. She followed the sound. Across the open space, near the edge of the firelight, stood a woman with silver in her hair. Her hands were folded in front of her, just as they had been on that long-ago morning. Their eyes met. The song finished its gentle path between them. For a moment, the world held still. "Little moon," the woman whispered. Amara's breath caught. She walked forward slowly, as if the ground might disappear if she moved too quickly. The woman did the same. Step by careful step, they crossed the space between them. When they were close, neither spoke. There were no words for the years that had lived between them. There were only arms wrapping around each other, and tears that finally fell. The river song drifted away into the night, its work done. Under the open sky, mother and daughter stood together again, not because the road had been kind, but because love had been patient. And in the quiet that followed, the world felt, at last, like a place where broken mornings could grow into gentle nights.